Infinite.
Just
shoot. Just shoot.
It's fine, man.
Life is worth living, chat. Life is worth living.
The new Warframe dev stream just concluded and my mind is absolutely blown. We got so much to talk about. We have the new Warframe FOLLIE, where we have the full kit explanation, gameplay showcase, and even though I know not everybody really loved her design, when it comes to her kit, it's completely gonna turn the entire game on its head, and I assume it's gonna be like 2 weeks of straight hot fixes with all the bugs that this is gonna cause. It's gonna be madness. But on top of that, we have more about the new update. We have the coolest skins in a long time for Gauss and Grendel with tons of custom accessories, a new game mode, literal hours of great quality of life improvements, and this is the kicker, we're now also gonna get bullying for mods. That's right, baby, we get cosmetics for the mods themselves. As always, big shout out to all our generous channel members, and now let's get into all of this madness. But okay, as always, we first start out with a couple of smaller but still important points to mention. Coming up next week on March the 2nd is going to be St. Patrick's Day celebration, and that means you can snipe yourself a free color palette. To be more precise, the Shamrock palette is going to come back with some nice green color tones. You know, for everybody who wants to cosplay as an MHBlacky thumbnail, you can now do that. Then, very important, Tennogen tickets have gone on sale. Never mind, post-edit Blacky here. I double-checked before uploading and unfortunately they're already gone. I hope you saw my reminder in the morning and already got yours. However, there are 3 more dates which are very important for Tennogen, those being the submission deadlines for the cosplay contest, the community art showcase, and we're also going to have a returning dojo showcase. The submissions for the cosplay contest close on June the 14th, for the community art showcase June the 5th, and for the dojo showcase, that's a nice word. For the dojo showcase, the submissions close at May 15th. Next, PAX East in Boston. Warframe is going to be there, and also this year we're going to have a live dev stream from PAX on March the 28th. This one, though, is going to be a bit more interactive. They didn't necessarily say what exactly it's going to be, but they said there's going to be audience participation, which will have some type of influence on shaping the upcoming updates. Then, we soon will get one of the biggest free loot drops of the year as part of the Warframe 13-year anniversary celebration. Just like with every year, all the old stuff, all the Dax stuff, the Dax weapons, skins, everything is gonna come back. And this time, the new item that's gonna enter the rotation is gonna be the Dax Signa that you can see in the background right here. The whole celebration period is gonna last from March the 13th to May the 8th, and if it is anything like the last couple of years, then there's gonna be weekly alerts, simple missions that really everybody can play, and then get all those free items. Last year, I think I made a guide on every one of the free Dax weapons, and I'm gonna try and do the same thing this year, try to update the builds on all those videos, so if you don't want to miss out on that, you might want to leave the channel a sub. Welcome to the crew. And the last housekeeping topic on the list would be Switch 2. We've talked about the cool features of the Switch 2 versions in the past already, and also big thank you to everybody who explained to me what Joy-Con mouse support is under the last video, but we finally have a release date for Switch 2, and that would be March the 25th. And not just that, there's also going to be a little free promo code with a special fan-type weapon and a new fan-type weapon skin that you can see in the background, plus some other stuff, but usually those packs are nothing mind-boggling, so no need to get mad if you don't have a Switch 2. It's all good. Now, it is time to talk about the new update, which goes by the title The Shadowgrapher. First of all, we did get the release date, which just so happens to also be March the 25th, so this thing is gonna launch together with the Switch 2 version. This update is kinda sorta gonna have the same shape as the most quarterly updates, in the sense that there's a new game mode in a new location, it will bring the new Warframe, and you farm that Warframe by playing the new game mode. That is the very basic framework. The new location where everything takes place is the Vesper Relay, you know, the one that has been inaccessible for like ages. And in order to unlock all of this, you have to have the Chains of Harrow quest finished, so it's kinda sorta early mid-game. Now, this new game mode, we got a little bit of a gameplay showcase here, is a very spooky, gloomy type of situation where you go into the relay and step through the frame of a painting, and then your job in the mission is to find 3 different paintings within the relay and then deliver paint to them to sort of finish them. While that is going on, you're going to be chased by enemies, which can also lead you to those paint drops. But at the same time, Folly, the new Warframe, is gonna chase you through the relay, and that's actually pretty scary because if she gets too close to you, then she will snap you out of life pretty darn quickly. So you gotta escape her constantly and hide, because if I saw it right, then you cannot damage her whatsoever. Story-wise, this new game mode is focused on the Arbiters of Hexes and will give us some background lore about them. They're also going to introduce a new NPC, Zorba, and then if I understood it right, Zorba is going to be the person to craft Folly, the new Warframe. With this update, there's also going to be a new clan operation called Operation Atramentum. This one is going to launch 1 week after the launch of the update to make sure that all the potential bugs are fixed until that point, and in this operation, you're going to be able to earn clan trophies and some new cosmetics. Now, before we get into Folly herself, the new Warframe, the kit, everything, right? We need to talk about mods. Because one of the most surprising freaking additions with this update is that we now get bling for our mods. That's right, there's going to be a new resource that you can earn from the new game mode, and with this resource, you can go to Zorba and basically unlock shiny versions of a specific set of mods, which you can see in the background right here. All of this is purely cosmetic, right? If you get one of these skins for the mods, it's not going to change anything about how they work, it's just that they look more bling in your arsenal. If I'm going to be 100% honest, I think that is absolutely phenomenal. I'm personally not sure if I'm going to use them for the videos because I think for a guide maker like me, it might be incentivized to just keep the look of the videos default so everybody understands what's going on. But you can bet your well-shaped bottom that I'm going to use them when I play privately. They're looking phenomenal. And the developers say if we receive them well and if we like that feature, they are very much open to further continuously expand which mods are available, potentially hiring guest artists to make specific artworks for specific mods. This might potentially be the beginning of a great feature. But, okay, let's talk about the one topic that you probably came to this video for, Folly, the new Warframe, the gameplay, the entire new kit. And let me tell you, they really reinvented pretty much the entire game with this thing. I think it's gonna be absolutely chaotic and I love it. First of all though, a lot of people did not like the default helmet of Folly. And to be fair, I personally also kinda didn't dig it all too much. But, and I was very happy to see this, they showed us an alt helmet that is gonna ship with the update. And this one, this juicy cinnamon roll helmet, that right here is way more my cup of tea. Just wanted to get that out of the way at the beginning because I know this in specific was a huge concern for a lot of you. But now let's get into her features. First of all, how to unlock her. We kind of sort of already talked about it. Play the new game mode to probably get the drops either directly or exchange them from the vendor for the new type of resource that you're gonna get from that game mode. Pretty much the same as always. Now, for her kit though, things are a bit very crazy. It's a lot, and I doubt I would do a great job at summarizing it myself, so let me just give it to the team to explain to you directly.
So yeah, I guess let's start with where you should start with everything. The passive. The passive is all of her abilities applying to enemies, and that basically slows them down. And also when they die, the ink can congeal into both energy orbs or health orbs, so you can kind of maintain her. So you can ink them down now with the 1, which teleports her around. So the 1 kind of brings her in, and you can teleport wherever you want her. Now she's doing it up close, but you can get quite a bit of range with it. It also makes you invulnerable, and removes all status. It's also like a cheap cast, so you can kind of use it to just hang out wherever you want to be. Then for her second, that's where we go a little crazy. So this is her sketchbook. You can basically make sketches and bring them to life. So you got a whole bunch of things you can create. So let's start at the top. Let's make a little barrel there. You make a little explosive barrel that inks enemies around, and then blow it up and they're gone.
Well, they died.
All of those objects, as you probably know from the game, all the hazards have like scaling damage. So that's why you just saw that is extremely effective. So they are kind of crazy.
Toss a death orb.
Then a dead orb, why not?
Toss it in.
How about an arc trap? Let's get a little electrifying in here. There you go.
Little log search. Let's see
Oh
what.
my god, it's
what
the infinite ammo one. It's
Oh,
the infinite.
okay.
Okay. Do it and then use the
So I'm
Serbian.
probably going to remove this, but I'll just show you. Just shoot.
Just shoot. It's infinite.
Just-
Just shoot. Just shoot.
It's fine.
Life is worth living, chat. Life is worth living.
Then we have a group that are kind of game mode ones. So you can create a life support capsule. You can create a power cell for excavation, which we'll talk a little bit more about later. You can create a fake defense tower, defense target. So that this one works in every level. So basically, it kind of deceives enemies into attacking it. So her sketchbook. You know, I wasn't satisfied with us making the sketches. I wanted you to make the sketches.
Looks like my dog, Kevin.
So now, basically, Steve's going to replace one of Megan's sketches with his own.
Okay, 16 layers to
Okay,
work
so how does
with.
this work here?
All right. Yeah.
Oh, really?
If you want
Oh, a fruit basket! There you go. There you go. Okay.
Sticky banana!
Stinky
Yay!
bananas.
This is so fun.
Thank you for my stinky bananas. I'm going to keep it forever.
For her third, she makes a self-portrait. And that gives her the damage resistance. And as she kills enemies around, banana them up. And then look at her. She starts getting bigger.
That's amazing.
Do
And
the
then
alt.
for her fourth, we send them flying in balloons. Well, you saw that damage was a little insane. It is insane. The fall damage we put on this right now is too high, but you know, essentially you can kill them by shooting them down.
That is.
Yeah, that's Folly.
So yeah, I think you know where I'm going with this, right? This is a whole bunch of never seen stuff right there. First of all, you can paint and design your own little icons for that icon wheel. And then what's even crazier, all the different things that you can summon into the mission. I'm pretty sure we're looking at weeks and weeks of creative people finding crazy ways of how to break the game, so keep your eyes peeled. But overall, even after everything will eventually be fixed and polished, I still think that while being a somewhat gimmicky frame, I think she will open up a lot of doors to optimize specific, more niche game modes with the various things that her kit brings into the mission. If you want to, you can leave your craziest ideas in the comments down below on which things from her kit you would use in specific situations. I would be crazy curious to hear that. Maybe I want to try it out myself. And then Folly also comes with her signature weapon, which is going to be another beam rifle, and it's going to work especially well against those enemies who are dripping in Folly's ink. Now, a lot of you probably came to hear about Folly in specific. However, there is so much more we have to talk about, so please don't leave just yet. Up next, I want to talk a bit more about cosmetics. Specifically about a very wholesome duo, those being Gauss and Grendel, who are going to receive absolutely stunning skins. You can see it in the background right now. We have a new Gauss and Grendel skin. Both of them are going to be very mech sci-fi themed, which I personally absolutely love, right? I'm a huge sci-fi fan, and I really dig the new looks. However, it's not just skins. They're also going to come with two specific weapon skins in the form of this nice Exceltra one right here and a new Masseter Heavyblade skin for Grendel. But that's still not it, because those skins also have unique special attachments, signas for both Warframes, and for Gauss, there's even a new full-body exclusive sigil, which you can see in the background right here, that is basically coating him in dirt. Like, he's literally running so fast that his entire body is covered in dirt. And yes, you can also paint it, in case you want to make him more red, as if he was sprinting through a Doom level. But wait, there is more. Because on top of all of this, with these new skins, there's also going to be new exclusive emotes for the two, which you can see in the background right here, and I don't think I need to say anything in specific, right? I think we all agree this is amazing. There's a lot of very in detail work that was put into this, and as a cherry on top, When you're playing Gauss and you enter his redline skill, then the game is literally going to play the song in the background that plays in the background of the Gauss Prime trailer. It really doesn't get more rock and roll than this. So much for Gauss and Grendel. But when it comes to cosmetics, we are still not done yet. Because with the Shadowgrapher update, we're also gonna get 5 new Tennogen items, in the form of 2 new Signas, which you can see in the background right here, a new Styanax skin, where I gotta say, I really dig the helmet in specific, very nice ancient Greek inspired. We have a Nova skin with Entrati look. And lastly, a universal hammer skin that you can put on whichever hammer you want. I think this one also looks very cool. But what if you don't like the whole Warframe side of Warframe all too much? Yeah, right, you're probably not going to play the game and you're probably not going to watch the video if that's the case. But just hypothetically, you might want to play more as the Drifter or the Operator. And if that's the case, then guess what? We now also get much more Drifter and Operator faces. These will give you a lot more options in customizing the look of your personal character, much more than it was before. And lastly, I promise it's a lot, but still, we're also gonna get 44 new titles introduced, a lot of them being focused specifically on Syndicate-specific stuff. In the background, we see an example for Steel Meridian. Before we close the video for today, there is another very big thing to talk about. And that would be one of the biggest quality of life drops that I've seen in a long time. I know QOL might sound boring to some, but I promise you, there is great stuff coming here. First of all, survival missions will be streamlined. The way this works is that throughout the survival mission, occasionally there will be an item drop on the map called Security Credentials. If you find that on the floor, then you can pick it up and it will direct you to a nearby security console. You can then use that item to overwrite the console, and as you can also see on the side right there, this will then speed up the mission timer for a while, essentially saving you 1 minute of survival time. These security override items, you have to actively find them in the mission. However, I'm pretty positive that stuff like Orokin Eye and other skills that help you find rare items on the map, that those functions are probably going to be usable to help you find it faster. However, survival is not going to be the only game mode which is going to get a big W. Let's talk about Excavation. We all know it, we all love it. You play high-level Excavation, the excavator drops and then it gets one shot instantly. This, in the future, will be much better. Pablo said that they're going to change it in a way that, first of all, excavators are going to spawn with a couple of seconds of complete immunity, so you have some time to actually see what's going on. Then, excavators will also have shield gating. As we all know, if you bring a new battery to an excavator where the shield is damaged, it will instantly fill up the shield fully. This way you might be able to keep it alive a bit longer. And lastly, they also said that the excavators in general are supposed to be scaling a bit better, so that hopefully they're going to be tanky enough to not instantly die, at least in normal steel path level ranges. So much for the changes to mission types. Let's next talk about clans, because clans will get quite some nice new features. If you're actively engaged in a clan, then you definitely want to hear this. First of all, they will introduce clan matchmaking. This is going to be a new matchmaking option, and it will basically make it that when you go into a mission, it will first search if any of your friends or clan members is online currently playing the mission and try to matchmake you with them. If you're having a small personal clan with 2 friends or so, it's not going to matter all too much probably, but especially if you're in a very big clan with tons of players, then this might be pretty cool if you want to play together, especially with those friends on your side of the ecosystem. Then, and this is a great idea, for people who are in clans, there are going to be special mission resource bonuses. The way this works is that at the end of the mission, you will get an extra bit of resources, but they're not going to be given to you directly, but instead they're instantly going to be deposited in your clan's vault. This way you don't have to manually donate them anymore. You can of course still do that, but I think this automation is very convenient. Don't worry though, and I want to make this very clear, this feature is not going to take away a portion of the resources that you farmed to give it to the clan. You're going to get the same amount of resources as before. It's going to generate a little bit of additional resources, and that bit is then going to be transferred to your clan. So no matter what's going on, you will never lose a thing. On top of that, as if that's not enough W's already, there are also going to be small weekly incentives. You can see a bit of a footage on how it looks in the background, and it's really nothing groundbreaking, but I think it's still cool that there are these incentives for clans that can net you a little bit more loot on the side. And finally, they're gonna add, I think 50 they said, new decoration pieces to clan dojos as well. But I would be curious what you think about it, especially those of you who maybe even run their own clans. So please let me know in the comments down below how you feel about it. Ha! I got you! You thought we're done with the quality of life part? Well then think again! Let's talk about Cold Eximus. Yes, that's right, DE is gonna rework the Arctic Eximus type. Previously, they had this invisible aura around them which would just slow you down, and they're now gonna rework it in a way that instead of having this automatic slowdown aura, instead they're gonna make it through the cold status effect, where if you are in the globe of the Eximus, then over time you will accumulate those negative cold status effects. The good thing here is, if you have some type of status immunity or whatever, then you can actively negate that. Then, another big addition, we get a bit more streamlined parkour. They announced it in the past already, but now we have actual footage of it. When our Warframe is pulling themselves over an edge, that was pretty slow in the past, and it would usually bring your momentum to a grinding halt. I hated that. But now, the animation for that is much more fluid, it's not gonna stop you down anymore. I personally think it's a great addition, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna bite into my keyboard a little bit less often going forward. Then, let's talk about grind and crafting times. For a bunch of older weapons and Warframes, they mentioned the entire bunch in specific in the stream, but I'm not gonna list all of it here. They're gonna reduce the resources required to craft them, so it's less tedious. On top of that, the original 3 Warframes, Excalibur, Volt, and Mag, their crafting time in the Foundry is now gonna be reduced from 3 days, as per usual, to only 24 hours. Next, for everybody who's still actively playing Perita Rebellion, we get 3 new tile sets. You can see them in the background right here, or at least a bit of gameplay of it. And when I look at this gigantic arm coming out of the ground, I can't help myself but kinda sorta get some Obedience Kenshi vibes. And then the last note to finally end this big video, and this is gonna be a very interesting, kinda sorta ARG-like thing. We have this screen right here, where for the Perita Rebellion, you're going to be able to select a tick box called the Guilty, which will then, presumably, unlock a much harder, tougher version of the Perita Rebellion. However, Rebecca said that in order to unlock this option, you will first have to find the Guilty in the game. Who or whatever that may be, well, they didn't say anything, and frankly, I personally have absolutely no idea. But you guys are a smart community, so probably by the time this video goes up, somebody on Reddit will likely already have figured it out. And now check out my recent video on the best and most profitable farms and game modes in Warframe 2026 to stock up on resources for the new update. Another massive shout out also to Niels V, Demon Lord Zell, Demon Emperor, Emperor Prime, Nost Linux Gaming, Turtle Pier, Ondakani02, Skyla Bowser, Mihawki, Socrates the Almighty Rat, Leo Morazaki, Shadow Lockhart, Hound Tagas, Patrasader, Boomia1, Mr. Games Plays, Zave, Awindai, Zengen, Quax, Henrik5984, Blue Eagle 98, Hearthwield, and all other generous channel members for your continuous support. Have a great weekend, and until next week.